Dear children, in the second part of Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood by Anise Jung, we shall be talking about bangle sellers who have a lot of children as laborers and whose life is a miserable blot on the existing society. We shall be talking about Mukesh and the other children like Mukesh in this part of the story. Despite the negative surroundings and situations, the circumstances which are not up to the mark, there are children who want to face the challenges and who want to make a difference in their lives. Mukesh is one of them. He claims that he would be a motor mechanic when he grows up, though he does not know anything about cars, and his life is the life of a poverty stricken child who has got no exposure, no orientation, who does not know anything beyond Firozabad, where his family has been indulging in the business of making bangles for their survival. In this part of the story, we are in Firozabad, where the bangles of the whole world get created. Mukesh is one child who is slightly different, at least for now. He thinks that he shall be able to learn to drive a car. He is confident, that is why he is able to look straight into the eyes of the writer, Anis Jung. Though, to the writer, his dream looms like, looks like a mirage, an illusion, because Mukesh lives in Firozabad, which is famous for its bangles, but where each family is suffering due to poverty, deprivation. Here, the families have spent generations working around furnaces, hot ovens, welding glass, molding, making bangles. It seems that here the bangles are made for the women of the whole world. But these bangle makers who give happiness to others by making bangles, they do not have anyone to support them. Whenever I talk about the children walking on the same line as the elders, I talk about herd mentality, which means not having the spark of thinking with their own brains. But Mukesh has that spark. He wants to drive a car. He wants to have a different kind of life. At least he is dreaming of it. Though these people are not having enough exposure, amenities, facilities, or any support from anywhere. In the big cities where there is anything and everything for the youngsters, they don't realize that the children do not even get the minimum basic. They lose the springs of their lives and they just join hands and help the elders for their survival. Same is the case with the children living in Firozabad who are working in glass blowing industries where the bangles are created for the whole world. The bangles bring happiness and cheers. Ironically, the creators have never ever felt that joy in their hearts. Among them, Mukesh's family is also there making bangles. Very strangely, none of them know that it is illegal for the children to make him work in the glass furnaces, in the hot ovens, having high temperatures where there is no ventilation, where the rooms are small, dingy cells, where there is no light, metaphorically also, and in the real sense. The law, which is all the time written on paper and is hardly executed, if by chance it gets enforced, if it gets implemented, there are almost 20,000 children who are working day in and day out on this hot furnaces. They slog, they work hard, their daylight hours, they lose the brightness of their eyes. They can be brought out, though with no better future. They not only lose the light in the physical manner, they also suffer metaphorically, having no cheers, no joys, no change, no ray of hope anywhere. Society changes. The change begins even with one single person. मैं अकेला ही चला था, लोग आते गए, कारवां बनता गया. One of them amongst the bangle makers is Mukesh, who still has got light in his eyes. His eyes beam, shine. He volunteers, he offers to take me to his home. He thinks that his home is getting renovated. Both of us walk down. It is pathetic. The lanes are smelly, stinking. The garbage is scattered all over, choking. We cross the homes, which are very small, hovels, crumbling walls, the walls which may get broken any day, the doors which are wobbly, unsteady. There are no windows. The homes are crowded with humans and animals living together as if they are still living in the barbaric, ancient state, primal state, where the animals and the humans coexisted. It is very strange to see that there is one shed. In one corner, the animals are there, the cows and the buffaloes and the goats, etc. On the other side, the humans are there and their food is getting cooked. Living in the comfort of cities, getting everything on the platter, having a silver spoon in the mouth when taking birth, we, the city dwellers, hardly realize the difficulties and the challenges which are faced by the children who are living in the far corners of our own country, India, despite becoming independent, despite having a written constitution, the plight of these children remains the same because most of the times the laws are mere lip service. They are hardly implemented and executed. Mukesh, who also has very limited exposure, assumes that his house is getting rebuilt, it is getting renovated. When we reach his home, he stops at one of the doors. He bangs a wobbly iron door with his foot, unsteady iron door. He pushes it open, and we enter a hut which is half built, the roof thatched with the dry grass. We call it bhusa. And under it, there is a firewood stove, chulha, which has a big container vessel in which spinach is boiling. On the ground, there is a big plate where there are more chopped vegetables. There is a very weak young woman who's cooking the meals for everyone in the family. She is supposedly the Bahu of the family. Her eyes are filled with smoke because of the cooking that she is doing, but she's still smiling. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother. Though she is very young, yet she has taken up the duty of a Bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house. She is already looking after the needs of three men, particularly Mukesh, his elder brother, who is her husband, and their father, who is her father-in-law. It is the tradition of the illiterate, underprivileged, poverty stricken people that they marry off their children at a very young age. The children also, since have got no exposure, they accept it. They have no choice but to take the responsibilities, and that is why their childhood gets lost. That is why there is no spring in their lives, because before becoming adult, they lose the brightness. As the Bahu of the house is cooking the meals, the older man, her father in law, enters and she gently goes behind the broken wall and covers her face, veil covering. It is the custom, it is the tradition that the daughters in law must cover their faces before male elders. Very surprisingly, in this case, this elder is a very poor bangle maker who has not been able to do anything fruitful, profitable in his life. He has indulged in years of hard labor. First, he was working as a tailor, then, he became a bangle maker, but he could not even renovate his own house. He could not send his two sons to the school. All he has managed to do is teach what he knows, the art of making bangles. When the Parents are uneducated, illiterate, are indulging in menial jobs for the survival of their families, and their children also remain just the same, not getting enough exposure, not educating themselves. So their difficulties multiply with the passage of time, because life is a big challenge in itself. Suppose these people are not able to, for some reason, make bangles, they will die of hunger, because they do not know how to do anything else in life. The lives of these bangle makers begin with poverty, deprivation, and it continues to be the same. There is no change anywhere. Due to illiteracy, the people become superstitious. They have not been given the exposure. They have not been taught the rationality. The old woman, Mukesh's grandmother, who has seen her own husband go blind, working day in and day out on the furnace, and from the dust from the polishing of the glass of Bengals, he has lost his eyes. She still says, "It is his karam, it is his destiny." This is the narrow mindedness, which is because they have not gotten the basic minimum education. She further says, can a God given lineage, clan, family tradition ever be broken? Yes, it can be broken. There can be change. But for that change, the children have to have the most important tool of getting themselves educated. The art of making bangles has been there in the family, and when the children take birth, they naturally see it and adopt it. And for the sake of survival, they also start working with their parents to support them. They don't go to school, they don't have any orientation, exposure, they don't learn anything beyond this. Born in the caste of bangle makers, they have not seen anything else. They have only seen bangles in the house, in the yard, in every other house, in every other yard, in every street in Firozabad. They have seen spirals of bangles of different colors: sunny gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the seven colors of the rainbow, which are piled in the heaps, mounds. The yards are unclean, unkempt, and these bangles are sold in the market on the four-wheeled handcarts, which are pushed by young men along the narrow lanes of the shanty town. There is irony in these lines. The colors of the rainbow are created by the bangle makers of Firozabad for giving happiness, cheerfulness, joy to everyone in the world. But these deprived children have never experienced any joy. There is no color, no sunny gold, no royal blue, no pink, no purple in their lives. Their childhood has got stolen. The spring of their life has got lost because of the poverty, because there is no provision for education for them, because their families have not gotten to know that their children can lead a different life. In Firozabad, these bangle makers live in congested, untidy homes, shanty town, and rainbow is missing from the eyes of the bangle makers, though they are making bangles for the whole world. In the dark huts, which are dingy, no ventilation, no fresh air, no proper light, for the namesake, there is an oil lamp whose flame keeps flickering all the time. The parents are sitting, father, mother, their children are sitting next to them, the boys and the girls. All of them are welding pieces of colored glass into circles for creating bangles for the whole world. Their condition is so pathetic that their eyes get adjusted to the darkness than the light outside. There is no light physically also, metaphorically also. And the darkness is no ray of hope. And these children and the adults living here, they accept the darkness of their lives. They do not know that there can be some light somewhere if they make their children get educated somehow. But here, the bangle makers, their eyes are more adjusted to the darkness than to the light outside. That is why, before they become adult, they become old. They lose their eyesight. There is a little young girl wearing a dirty pink dress. She's sitting with an elderly woman, soldering, molding pieces of glass. Her hands move mechanically like tongs of a machine. She has learnt it. She is an expert for this kind of a thing. But surely she does not know the deeper meaning of the sacredness of the sanctity of the bangles which she is helping to make. Bangles symbolize an Indian woman's sohag, auspiciousness in marriage. Bangles are made to wear to the bride, and in Hindu tradition, for the whole life, the Hindu woman who's married keeps wearing the bangles. Ironically, the creator of these bangles, the little girl, does not know anything about its sanctity and importance and the auspiciousness and the purity. One day, when she herself shall become a bride, she will understand what is the importance of the bangles that she had been making all the young years of her life. The poor children living in Firozabad, whose families are bangle makers from generations, they take up the and the skill of making bangles, and they join in the hands and they create bangles for the whole world, though they themselves do not know the auspiciousness of the bangles that they are creating for the rest of the world. One day, when young Sabita grows up slightly and She is made to get married, and then she will be able to understand suddenly that the bangles that she had been making for the whole world were very important. It will strike her only when her own head is covered, draped with a red chunni, with a red veil, when mehendi henna is applied on her own hands, when red bangles are rolled onto her wrists. She will then become a bride. She will become the bride like the old woman who sitting next to her, who had become a bride long back. That old woman is still wearing bangles on her wrists, though there is no light, there is no hope in her eyes. The old woman who all her life had been wearing the bangles as the auspicious, pure omen, she has not even one meal of stomach full all her life. एक वक्त भी पेट भर के खाना नहीं खाया, she says, and her voice is not having even a fragment of joy. She has suffered all her life. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. That is what she has earned after working so hard. Her husband, who is an old man having flowing beard, he says, I know nothing. I only know how to make bangles. And this is what I have done all my life. I have made a house for my family to live in. Yes, they have a house, which is a shack, which is having wobbly doors, which is having crumbling walls, which leaks when it is raining. But still, they are living in the house. That is what they think that they are having. On hearing the bad condition, the plight of the old woman who has not even enjoyed one single meal, it comes to the mind. How many of us do not value the food that is given to us? How many of us waste the food? How many of us do not realize that there are many children in this world who are deprived of even one single meal? Next time, whenever we waste the food, we must remember the old woman living in Firozabad who claimed that she had not eaten even one single meal all her life. When whatever the old man claims about making the house, when one hears him, one wonders, this is what he has achieved? Do you think that many have failed even to do that much? He says that a roof is there over his head. Is it okay to have this kind of a roof? Is it okay to provide the children with this kind of a life? The loud sound of having no money and not knowing anything else rings is clearly heard in every home. These people only know the business of making bangles. They do not have enough to eat. And this problem is there in every home of Firozabad. The young men repeat, echo the lament, the sorrow experienced by them and their elders. Nothing has changed with the time. It seems life in Firozabad has come to a standstill after years of mind numbing hard work, toil, severe hard work, mind numbing. When one stops feeling anything, no emotions, no glimmer. The years of mind numbing severe hard work has killed all the initiative. Initiative is the ability to do anything else, the ability to dream. All these things have got lost, all these things have got killed in the difficulties which are being faced by the people of Firozabad, who are bangle makers traditionally. Once again, dear children, sitting here in the comfort zone of our own homes, where we have anything and everything, it is unimaginable to realize how much suffering is there despite so many years of independence, despite having the laws, but the reality is far, far different. Anis Jung, the author of Lost Spring, Stories of Stolen Childhood, when talks to the people in Firozabad and they tell her how difficult their life is, she questions them. Why do you not organize yourselves into a cooperative? Why don't you form a society? Why don't you all unite together? Because the young men over there have become the victim of never ending circle of middlemen, agents who had trapped their fathers and forefathers because the parents did not have enough education, and whatever the agents told them, they agreed to it for the sake of their survival. When illiteracy is there, it doubles the plight of the people because they do not know what is right and what is not right, because they have not learnt to rationally analyze. They suffer all the way more. The young men try to give reply of the question of why they do not organize themselves into a cooperative. They say, even if we try to unite ourselves, organize ourselves, we are the ones who shall be facing the trouble by the police. They don't like, the system does not like that we should be united. The system wants us to be separated. So, when they try to be together, when they try to form groups, the police beats them, drags them to jail, blames them that they are indulging into something illegal. And since there is no leader among them, nobody who can show them a different perspective of the things, they are not able to see anything beyond whatever is there shown to them. That is why they suffer all the way more. Their fathers are also as tired as they are, which means they had also lost the ability to do anything else, and the younger generation has also lost the ability to explore. That is why their lives keep moving in a vicious circle, never ending circle, where there is a suffering today, tomorrow, forever. There is no change anywhere. There cannot be any change unless that change is forced. The lives of these bangle makers also keep moving in a vicious, never ending circle, in a spiral. You have to mark over here the basic problems which they keep talking continuously. These problems are 1. Poverty, 2. Apathy, indifferent attitude, where nobody is bothered for anybody, 3. Greed, 4. Injustice. All their lives they keep talking about these things. They keep suffering because of these things. But no change ever comes anywhere. Their lives also move in the same way, in a vicious circle, in a spiral, like the spirals that they themselves create. These children have the stigma, they have the blot, they have been imposed, forced upon for indulging in the same business that their parents are doing, because there is no other means of survival. So, the burden, the baggage has to be faced by these children. Listening to the bad condition of the bangle makers of Firozabad, I see two distinct worlds, distinct very clearly, different from one another. Very important part of the story for 6 marks. One world having the families of the poverty stricken, burdened bangle makers, having the stigma of the caste that they have taken birth in the families of bangle makers, and they have nothing else in life but to make bangles only. The second distinct world includes the vicious circle of many people. 1. Sahukars, 2. Middlemen, 3. The policemen, 4. Keepers of law, 5. The bureaucrats, 6. The politicians. Together, all of them have imposed the burden on the child that you have taken birth in the family of a bangle maker. You dare not do anything else. You only have to make bangles. Before the child realizes the life, what it is like, he accepts it in the natural way that his father had accepted. The heavy burden of traditions, superstitions, lack of a strong will to change one's destiny, illiteracy, fear of exploiters, absence of the righteousness of action, self determination, and various other things force, conspire the children over here to move in the vicious circle, never ending circle of poverty, deprivation, underprivileged life, no ray of hope anywhere. To do anything else is to dare. Daring is not the part of the growing up of the children in Firozabad. When I see this sense of daring in Mukesh, the child having the dreams, the child feeling that he shall be able to live a life differently. I feel thrilled. I am deeply touched. He says, I want to be a motor mechanic. I will go to a garage and learn. Though garage is a long way from his home, physically and metaphorically. It is not very easy to bring about a change in the life pattern, but it is not impossible also. I, Anis Jung, appreciate the determination of the little boy Mukesh, who says, I will walk, I will learn the art of being a mechanic. I will break the vicious circle. I don't want to be a bangle maker. I want to have a life different than my forefathers. I will try. If I try, I shall be able to do it. For the sake of expanding the horizon of the little boy Mukesh, Anis Jung asks him, do you also dream of flying a plane? Mukesh is suddenly quiet. He's silent. He looks at the ground, staring, says no. This no is having this soft sound. There is slight embarrassment. But still, he is not regretting that he has thought of becoming a motor mechanic. Why is he not regretting? Because he thinks he should be able to live his dream. He is contented, he is satisfied to dream of the cars because the cars are running here and there in the streets of his town Firozabad, hurtling down, rushing here and there. Unfortunately, the child Mukesh has never ever seen the aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. That is why there is no concept. That is why he's slightly embarrassed at the question being asked. It is that the suggestions given by the elders, the expansion of the horizon offered by the elders has to be realistic. The children should be able to relate to it. They should be able to make a sense of it. Then only they shall be able to adopt it. Then only the change can be in the real sense. It is quite okay if the child Mukesh has not seen the aeroplanes flying across the skies of Firozabad. It is okay to be able to walk one step at a time. If he wants to become a motor mechanic, he should try to do that. He should educate himself so that he has the opportunity, so that one person getting the education brings about a complete change in the society. By getting themselves educated, the children will not have to live the life of the children like Sahib. Sahib Alam is the name, has become a slave. Lord of the universe is not even having his own friends to roam about. The change can be there if the elders in the society join hands, if they provide the children with the education which can definitely bring about a spark in the lives of these underprivileged children. If the approach of the elders is righteous, truthful, honest, sincere, the children shall be able to feel and create the rainbows of the seven colors that they are making day in and day out. They shall be able to live life beyond these spirals of bangles. They shall be able to break the vicious circle. But the privileged class of the society will have to join hands for breaking this vicious circle so that the children do not lose the spring of their lives, so that their childhood does not get stolen. Help them. They are also human beings like us.